Yeah. So back in the day, they didn't have a thermometer, of course. Yeah. So the ancient tea, like yogis, wise men, sages, they did it from looking at the water, but then they have, of course, a different pot, and they will just look at the water, how it boils, and the whole, when in the Western world we use a cooker, and then we lose the whole process of the water that is changing, and I think this is beautiful in this way to boil water on fire, and especially in this glass, because everyone can see it also. You can see how the water is changing. It's a liquid that is changing with heat, of course, and we're using this hot liquid to extract some really good flavor and healthy minerals and nutrition from these leaves. And this is like a perfect vortex that Weichen was turning, and you see the tea bowl like getting more loose and extract in the water. You see the water is getting is boiling, and those strings that Oliver was already saying, it's pearl strings coming up, and it's all written in a book of a Chinese sage who wrote about tea, and he described all the type of boil, like the type of bubbles the water goes into when it starts boiling. So all the stages.
Because now only the bottom is like 100 degrees. And
well,
because the
some
top is
parts of the bottom.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Only that parts, yeah. But it's almost boiling. I would say like before he poured the water in there, it was like 90, 95 degrees, the total water amount. I don't know who would agree. And when it starts like steaming, it's like around 80. When the steam gets really hot, it's already like going through 90. And then when you start seeing bubbles from 90 to 100, you start seeing different kinds of bubbles. And the bigger the bubbles, the hotter the water. But of course, if you have a wobbly table, if you have a high fire and a small pot, then all the stages will be really quick, or like maybe like through each other, because maybe you have a cold wind when you are outside. Then some parts will be hot and other parts will be cold. So. But in this setting, it's beautiful to see how the tea extracts.
And you said boiling tea is a tradition common around the world. And what are other differences between how they boil tea in, for example, I don't know.
Yes, and that's one of the main points I want to make. There's an endless amount of differences where the roots of tea are in China. There's an endlessly amount of different ways to prepare tea in China, and as that made its way throughout the world, and as time passed further in different places, different traditions were created, but they all have this Tang dynasty boiling at its roots, and before that the boiling of the tea soup with different ingredients. And so in that sense, it's something you can trace way back, and has been adapted and evolved throughout time in different places in different ways. And with this tea, I think it's actually a good idea to let it not sit for too long, where it might get more bitter. We can already have a little taste and see what it's like, and already feel free to pick another cup for yourself.
Are there people boiling tea for more than an hour?
Could you repeat?
Are there people who boil tea for more than an hour? Or half an hour?
Yes, so if you want to talk about that, there's a Russian prison tradition which involves boiling very strong tea, but that's maybe a topic
called again
for another day. That's
Cultural
Qifir. Yeah, that's different type of tea culture.
How is it called?
But then also it's a serious topic to talk about today
Another seminar.
as well. But there's many different aspects of tea, including the more ceremonial sides. But then also tea has always been used to energize and to warm you up. Also for people who were working very hard, miners, woodcutters, people who spend all their days working on the plains, riding horses. So there's tons of different aspects.